Hi everyone, so I recorded this earlier but it was really blurry. I hated how it looked. Doing it again. Okay, so today we are going to do a top 10 about all the best books I have read in the year 2024 so far. My goal is to read 72 books this year. I have only read 27 books right now. These are the top 10 books that I have read. Out of them, 9 of them are like 4.5 or 5 out of 5 stars, and one of it is a 4 out of 5 stars, but I really enjoyed the book. Starting from number 10, which is my least favorite, but still, when I'm saying least favorite, it's still a really good book and a really favorite book of mine is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Piranesi is a really unique fantasy mystery book about Piranesi who lives in this infinite house which provides food and has like endless ocean into it. Piranesi who is trying to figure out what this place is, what people are in here, and like what is happening, and we along with Piranesi we also try to solve this mystery of this place. I read this book in like a day and really enjoyed it. Piranesi very small and very easy to read, very fun to read, and also try the audiobook. The audiobook of this one is really good. The ninth book that I read, also I read this for like a readathon and read it in a day, and that's Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Personal favorite book of mine because it involves a lot of physics, chemistry and biology. I love my biology. So we follow this lone astronaut who is like stuck in space, who's trying to save this world and like doing a lot of this new type of fuel which humanity has discovered that leads to a lot of cool mind-blowing stuff. I really enjoyed the characters in this, other than the main character, which I don't want to spoil anything. Go into this book blind, and I'm really excited for the movie. I hope the movie is as I imagined it to be in my mind. It's very imaginative, which feels very believable. Like this makes sense to me, to my mind, because all of the things which are like portrayed in it accurate. I think this is very accurate. Of course, a lot of it is not really realistic if you really think about it, but it's believable. So it was a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So number 8 book which I read for Valentine's Day, Little Woman by Louisa May Alcott. This book was my first classic book that I ever read. In this book we follow 4 sisters and also one of their friends, Laurie. We follow Meg, Jo, Beth, Amy, which are the 4 March sisters, and we follow their life, them struggling with money and with health issues, with society, with clothes, but they stay together, and it's about family, about friendship. Made me cry. The movie is like such a good adaptation of a book, and I also want to continue with the book. So there are like 4 parts in this book. The second one is Good Vibes, which is still in my TBR right now. Yeah, this got me into classics. There are all the other classics which I want to read. The next book, which is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This book was so fast. I also read this in like 1 or 2 days, I think. It's some YA murder mystery about this girl named Pip who is trying to solve this murder, to try to prove the one who is accused of murder as innocent. And like there's a lot of intrigue, the thriller in it. A fun book to like read to get out of a reading slump. Really recommend it. The series is coming out, looks very good. It's coming out in like 10 days. It's a trilogy, so there are 2 more books left for me to read it. The book is Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is the first book I read by R.F. Kuang, and I was really surprised. The reason I was really surprised because I didn't expect a lot of from a standalone, but this proved to be wrong. This book has everything. Great characters with different races, with different ideologies, has a great fantasy magic system. So the magic system is like if you have a piece of silver and you write different languages meaning the same thing, the silver comes to life. In this book we follow Robin, who is Chinese, who has been adopted by this professor and has been enrolled in Oxford, where Robin's job, and he meets other friends, and their job is to learn this silver working. They get wrapped up in this conspiracy, in this secret society about like how much silver is like hurting the other nations in the world. It also has a lot of racial commentary, centers around entomology, which is like the history of words, So there are really fun words to read about, and their origin in the language. A very informative and a very cool look into languages, into history, into everything. Say that this book packs a lot, but still is very entertaining and very fun to read. So a definite 5 out of 5 stars, and one of the best fantasy standalone books I've read. So the fifth best book I've Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It's a romance is an enemies to lover, two like book editors or like literary agents. I was really reluctant to romance genre. I didn't thought that they were like that deep, but like this book proved me wrong, because Book Lovers a lot of great characters about like they talk about like personal issues and like family issues. There's like a sister which is struggling with motherhood and like financial issues, and all of those things are my favorite part of a romance book. I do love the romance, they both need a good balance for the book, and Book Lovers was the first one I have experienced. Well, was the second book I have experienced. I think Emily Henry writes such a good, relatable characters, and it was really funny too. There are a lot of good dialogue and good character back and forth in this book. But this is not the best romance book I read this year. Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez was my favorite romance book this year, and that's because I just felt more relatable to the characters in Just for the Summer, and that's main reason because of the mental health issues. I really related with like disassociation, the topics of disassociation, about like family, about like mother issues, and all of those stuff was like really relatable to me. got got a deeper connection to this book than Book Lovers. So that's why it's a little higher than a lot of first authors here, because as I said, I'm really new to books. I'm still exploring a lot of sites of finding new authors, finding trying well-loved authors. Onto the top three, my third favorite book of this year, called Sword of Kraken by Emil Wong. I read it recently, and it's quickly become one of my favorite standalone fantasy. It's truly an epic fantasy. So the book just throws you into this world. There are a lot of words which you may not understand, but it's kind of easy. We follow Misaki and her family are trying to survive a war. Talks a lot about tradition and like your way of heart and like fighting responsibilities. My favorite part about this book are the characters. Misaki is one of the best characters I read. She is amazing. She is the best. This book has a lot of pain to talk about the magic system. The world is like Avatar: The Last Airbender. A lot of people can use water or air or sand. The nations are divided into this. Follow the family which can use ice. So this was on Kindle Unlimited. I specifically bought Kindle Unlimited for this book and really enjoyed it. So the second best book I read this year is another epic fantasy, but this time it's a series, and that is Will of the Many by James Islington. It's the first book in the Hierarchy series. We follow Wes, who is like a prince to this fallen empire, and Wes is trying to survive on the streets by like fighting. And one day he gets instructed to go to this academy and try to uncover some secrets. There's a lot of spying. There's a lot of different factions trying to control this. The magic system is very complex and kind of hard to understand, but it's a long time since I read it. I read this book in like January, so I don't remember a lot of it. Ended on a pretty big cliffhanger. The next book isn't out yet. My number one favorite book of this year is the second book in the Stormlight Archive series, Words of Radiance. Just one thing, the duel, and a lot of things happen, but the duel, it just stays on my mind rent free. Stormlight Archive is Brandon Sanderson's 10-book series, out of which it's half of it is ending this year in the fifth book, and I have talked a lot about it, so don't want to say it again because I have said a lot of things about Stormlight Archive. First book is still my favorite though, the Way of Kings, but second book just improves on it a lot. But the first book was entry to this world of Rorschach, so that's why I like it a lot. The Words of Radiance is great. There's a lot of good moments which I like, just remember it. I still have 2 books to read in this series. That was all the 10 of my favorite books I've read this year. Let me know what favorite books you have read this year or you have enjoyed. I really enjoyed talking to everyone in the comments, and bye bye.
This is no laughing matter, I tell you.